MontanaSports.com. This is MTN Sports Extra.
Welcome back to your Friday night Sports Extra. We have a number of great high school football games going on across the state this evening, and with help from our colleagues across the Montana Television Network, we have some great highlights to bring to you right now.
Another beautiful night for Friday Night Lights. This time I'm at Van Winkle Stadium as the Bozeman Hawks are taking on the #1 ranked team and reigning state champions Missoula Sentinel. Let's see if Bozeman can get their first win of the season. Bozeman lost a heartbreaker to Capital last week. Can they get the W over a very tough team? Sentinel gets the ball first, and they methodically drive the ball down the field. Quarterback Zach Cruz punches a touchdown in on the ground. He walked in. 7-0 Spartans. On the next drive, Cruz gets cooking through the air. He has a couple of nice passes to his wide receivers to get Sentinel down the field and into Bozeman territory. He then caps it off with a 15-yard touchdown pass over the middle to Joseph Wida. Sentinel would threaten to score again, but missed this field goal, and Bozeman needed a spark. They get it with a screen pass to Bryson Zanto. He barrels over the tackler and on into the end zone. Bozeman only down 7, but Spartans waste no time answering back. Just minutes later, they're at the 1-yard line, and Kellen Curtis rushes this one in for an easy touchdown. 21-7 Sentinel in the first half. They cruise in this one, and here is your final score. In Bozeman, John Miller, MTN Sports.
MCPS Stadium played host to a battle of the birds as the Billings Skyview Falcons were in town to take on the Big Sky Eagles. First quarter, no score. Eagles quarterback Caleb Wren scrambles and finds Cole Sandberg, picks up the huge block from Trey Reed, 32-yard gain for the Eagles. Few plays later, 3rd and 9 from the 9. Wren scrambles again, this time keeping himself going left. He takes the big hit but crosses the goal line, and Big Sky is up 7-0 after 1. Ensuing drive for the Falcons. Dylan Goodell looking downfield, just a bit outside, and Isaac Ayers picks it off, returns it to the 43, and the Eagles are back in business. Second quarter now, still 7-0 Big Sky. Wren swings it out to Lewis Sanders, and Sanders does the rest. 25-yard score, and it's 14-0 Eagles. Next drive for Big Sky, Wren again looking for Sanders. He airs it out for a 43-yard score, including the great grab from Sanders to keep it and get across the goal line. He had a big night, and Big Sky gets its first win of the season with a 42-7 victory over Skyview. Next week, the Eagles will take on Kalispell Glacier. Meanwhile, the Falcons are due for a crosstown battle with Billings Senior. Reporting for MTN Sports, I'm Kyle Hansen.
Tom Wiley here reporting from Central Montana, where East meets West. A couple teams from the western part of the state making the trek out this direction. We'll start in Class AA with a matchup of two teams that won their openers. CMR and Glacier at Memorial Stadium. Wolfpack leading 26-0 at half. Rustlers fans, though, not deterred, and they're rewarded to start the third. Gage Slider looking deep, but Ryan Hardum comes down with it for the interception of the big momentum swing, and they would capitalize. Cole Taylor punches it in from 3 yards out. CMR on the board, 26-7, and the Wolfpack go to the ground game. First play of the fourth, the give to Jake Rendina, and the big back goes beast mode, 26 yards over and through the defense for the score, 33-7, and Glacier goes on to win. Here's a look at your final score. How about in Class B? Fairfield and Loyola were tied at 6 at halftime. Eagles with a miscue here to start the third. Snap goes over the head of Cole Neal. He tracks it down, but Carson Tipp brings him down. That forces a punt, but the Eagles defense did not break on 4th down. Taylor Jones is stopped short. Daniel Faith hit on the tackle. Fairfield would score on their next possession and win 18-6. Tom Wiley, MTN Sports.
It's a packed house at Belgrade High School as the Panthers host Hellgate for week 2 of Friday Night Lights, where both teams are still vying for their first win. Belgrade held a moment of silence for the 13 fallen soldiers that made the ultimate sacrifice last week before kicking off Friday night's AA Classic. Panthers in trouble here, sitting at 3rd and 20, but that's not a problem for Gage Ruddick, who gets the handoff and trucks his way 16 yards down the field to eventually set up a first down. They weren't able to find the end zone in the first quarter, but I'll tell you who did. Mr. Ian Throw Me the Ball Finch. Connor Dick finds him down the field, and he trots his way in for a 26-yard score. Don't count out Belgrade just yet, though, because when I tell you they were making plays, they were making plays. That's Kyle Hibble with the big-time interception. However, Hellgate would still take this one 42-20. But we're not done just yet. How about some Class B football? The Florence Falcons made the trip out east to Manhattan to take on the reigning 2020 champions for the first game of the season. Picking things up in the second quarter, Tigers are still trying to get something going on offense. Callan Fennell looks downfield and finds his favorite target, Corbin Johnson, for the 33-yard reception. But it was Florence's offense that couldn't be stopped Friday night. With less than 2 minutes to go in the first half, Pat Duchian connects with Tristan Payette, who gets the first down in a 15-yard gain. That sets up this keeper from Duchian for a 27-yard score and a 35-0 lead at the half. They'd shut out Manhattan 52-0. The Falcons will look for win number 2 as they return home for a game against Three Forks. Manhattan, on the other hand, will hit the road to Missoula for a game against Loyola. In Belgrade, Ashley Washburn, MTN Sports.
Whitefish is hosting Frenchtown, and both teams are looking to building a winning streak off of last week's momentum. Before the game, Whitefish offensive coordinator Mac Roach told me they had to specifically prepare for the speed that Frenchtown brings on the ground. Whitefish scores in the first possession of the second half. Finn Ridgway throws to the outside to Clayton Godsey. Extra point is good. Whitefish up 7-0. Frenchtown answered right back. Quarterback Eli Quinn throws right into the end zone to Devin Shelton. Extra point is good. Game is tied 7-7. Whitefish answers back immediately. Quarterback Finn Ridgway runs the ball for 16 yards. Second down, Finn throws it the outside to his go-to receiver, Bodie Smith, who had himself a first half with 4 catches for 60 yards. Extra point is good. Bulldogs up 14-7. But the first half is not over. Quarterback Eli Quinn throws to Devin Shelton as he leaps for the touchdown. Extra point is good. 14-14 going into the half. Whitefish ends the second half with a touchdown and 2 interceptions. Here's a look at your final score. Next week, Frenchtown will be hosting Hamilton, and Whitefish will be in Butte taking on Butte Central Catholic. Reporting in Whitefish, Alexa Belcastro, MTN Sports.
I'm back at Vigilante Stadium for one of the better rivalries in the Western A, Dillon versus Hamilton. These two teams have become fixtures in the Class A playoffs, and when they meet in the regular season, it always feels like a grudge match. So let's get to those highlights. Broncs go 3 and out on their first drive, but get things rolling after that. Tyson Rostad out of the gun takes the QB keeper 2 yards to put Hamilton up 7-0 midway through the first quarter. Next drive for the Broncs, and it's more of the same. Rostad again from 2 yards out, and he trots into the end zone to put his team up 14-0. And the senior is fired up.
Let's go! Let's go!
Missed opportunities a big factor for the Beavers in this one. Key Christensen with the long pass attempt to Trayton Anderson, but he just can't haul it in. And now Hamilton is going to start pouring it on. Tim Zoner from 30 yards out evades about 3 would-be tacklers, and he bolts across the goal line to give the Broncs a 21-0 lead early in the second quarter. But Dillon not going down without a fight. Christensen lofts up a pass to Carson Lemlin in the left corner and drops it in for a 24-yard touchdown score. But the Broncs still up 3 scores, and they're not letting up. Rostad with his 3rd touchdown run of the night, and Hamilton is going to run away with this one and improve to 2-0. Final, Hamilton 48, Dillon 6. In Dillon, Luke Shelton, MTN Sports.
There's more action on the way when MTN Sports Extra continues after this. We're back with more MTN Sports Extra.
Good evening, everybody. Alec Boffinger here at Dallas Stadium, where Billings West has its home opener. After a loss to Missoula Sentinel on the road last week, they look to get back on track against Helena Capital tonight. Early on, West quarterback Isaiah Claunch facing plenty of pressure. Cole Soper gets through for the strip sack, and eventually Austin Bueller jumps on it for the Bruins. Claunch and West would strike before halftime, though. On 4th down, he airs it out to Taco Dowler for a 43-yard touchdown to put West up 7-0 at the break. Second half, and more issues up front for West. Talon Marsh bursting into the backfield and racking up yet another sack for Capital. West, though, would manage points on the possession. Spencer Berger knocks it down from 26 yards out to push the lead to 10-0. The Bears defense was putting on a show tonight, too. Luke Tallman into the backfield and wrapping up Joey Michelati for the sack and pushing Capital out of scoring position. Then early in the 4th quarter, Berger going to add on for West. His aim is true from 23 yards out as the lead grows to 13-0. And here's your final. In Billings for MTN Sports, I'm Alec Boffinger.
Welcome to the hallowed grounds of Vigilante Stadium. The Helen High Bengals playing host to the Billings Senior Bronx this evening. Two Titans in their respective divisions of the Class AA. Let's get to the highlights. It was a defensive slog early on in this one, but mid-first quarter, the Bengals trying to find some offense as Caden Hewitt hits Coulter Petrie, who bobbles and hauls in the catch, but nothing doing on the scoreboard for the Bengals. The Bronx with the ball, 3rd and long. Christian Emeneth looking for a man downfield, and Petrie doing it on both sides of the ball. He comes up with the interception. The ensuing Bengals drive, though, the Bronx get it right back as Zacchaeus Bergen comes up with the interception. The Bengals were able to strike first, though, in the second quarter. They're up 6-0 right now. Hewitt plans on making it 14-0. Goes crossbody to hit Cade Holland for the score. The 2-point conversion is good. The Bengals trying to shut out the Bronx in the first half for their 6th straight quarter of shutout ball, but no dice as Jacob Miller finds the end zone up the gut to make it 14-7. And here is your final score. Reporting in Helena, Sam Hoyle, MTN Sports.
There's more action on the way when MTN Sports Extra continues after this.
MTN Grizz Central is sponsored by Bob Wards.
While it may be quiet right now, it won't be for much longer here at Husky Stadium in Seattle, Washington. We're just over 24 hours away from kickoff between the Montana Grizzlies and Washington Huskies to open the college football season. For the Grizzlies, it's been a long time coming for Montana, which is about to play its first fall football game in just under 2 years. When the Huskies and Grizzlies clash on Saturday, it'll be a reuniting of sorts for head coach Bobby Hauck. Hauck spent 4 seasons at Washington as an assistant coach before leaving to become Montana's head coach in 2003, the first year of his first tenure. As the game approaches, there's plenty of memories.
Also remember having a lot of success, a lot of wins. Winning the Rose Bowl, beating Drew Brees in the Rose Bowl, that was great. It's just a powerful place.
Though he wasn't there the last time the Grizzlies played the Huskies in 2017, Hauck is plenty aware of how that outcome went and wants to put on a better showing than that season.
We went out there a couple years ago and it was 63-7. There's all kinds of adjectives you can use to describe that, but there's only one way to slice it. That's demolishing, and I hope we've closed the gap some.
The Grizzlies will be paid $675,000 in guaranteed game money for making the trip west, and linebacker Jace Lewis said the preparation is similar to when the Grizzlies played Oregon in 2019.
We talked about that a lot last week, just like how we prepared for Oregon and stuff, but going into Oregon, I mean, Coach Hauck had us ready and fired up for that game, and I think we'll have the same mentality, if not more. And I mean, we haven't played for 2 years, so I think guys are fired up and ready to hit the field running, so I'm excited for this game.
Receiver Samuel Akem also remembers when he was a wide-eyed redshirt freshman in 2017, playing in just his second college game against Washington, and how this year's approach has been much more focused, similar to the Oregon contest.
It's been good to be able to, measure ourselves and see how we stack up. I feel like it's going to be great. It's going to be great, and it feels great to be able to play against these teams. It's been awesome to be able to play against these teams. It's been really great to be able to play Washington as a freshman, to see, back then I was like wide-eyed freshman, didn't really know what was going on. I'm like, wow, I was just happy to be out there, man, we're playing Washington, and then now obviously it's I feel like it's kind of the same as it was in 2019.
Kickoff for Saturday's opener is scheduled for 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Reporting at Husky Stadium in Seattle, Washington, I'm Kyle Hansen, MTN Sports.
But Wyoming is really up there in experience, and they thought 2020 was going to be a big year for them, and it turned out to be kind of a disaster with COVID and everything. So this is definitely, according to Craig Bull, his most experienced team in 18 years as a head coach.
Wyoming was one of the worst passing teams in the nation last year. Starting at quarterback for the Cowboys is junior Sean Chambers. The past 3 seasons, he suffered a season-ending injury.
On the field, he's a dual threat guy who can house it 70 yards or whatever it was against Missouri in the 2019 opener on a run. And I know the big emphasis for him this year is to improve the passing game. He's under 50% career passer.
The Cowboys had the 14th ranked rushing offense last year. The backfield is led by senior Xavier Valladay, who has been near the top of the Mountain West for rushing the past few years. And behind him is senior Trey Smith.
They're both between the tackles, tough runners. Valladay has the shake to make the first guy miss in the hole. Trey Smith is more of a power runner.
Wyoming started their 2020 season with a new defensive coordinator in Jay Sawville, and he turned the Cowboys into one of the best in the FBS in almost every category. Linebacker Chad Muma anchors their defense.
I wouldn't expect a lot of exotic stuff. They can send a corner blitz or Muma can come, but I think they're going to see if their front four can just create the pressure.
As for how Montana State can get the upset victory on Saturday, Thorburn thinks it all comes down to Bobcats quarterback Matthew McKay.
Vegan was criticized heavily for the passing game, despite, the fact that he didn't have a healthy quarterback. It would be interesting if he were to air the ball out and try to let Wyoming fans know that when he does have a healthy quarterback like the Josh Allen days, he's still got the play calling touch.
Montana State is currently 17.5 to 18-point underdogs depending on the website. And Thorburn thinks that line is about right for his final score prediction.
31-14, somewhere in that spread neighborhood, but we'll see. I think the fact that Vegan knows Wyoming so well and Coach Bull knows Vegan so well could make it a closer game, certainly.
Find more highlights along with in-depth sports coverage anytime at montanasports.com.
Normally, this is the site for one thing and one thing only, Grizz football. But for one night in late August, Washington Grizzly Stadium played host to a classic high school football game, a rematch of the 2020 state championship.
Okay, so your helmet's always on the sideline, okay? Your eyes are on the field. You're engaged in the game. Like I said, we get 9 days a year, so I know it's long for you.
Playing for Dane it's awesome, man. He thinks so highly of us. He puts us at the highest level. He expects nothing less of us. He wants us to be the best person we can be on and off the field, in school. He's always going 100 miles per hour. I love him as a coach.
Hey, Buddy Wright, you're out. Jonesy, you're not tall enough.
He cares about you off the field more than he does on the field. And come football time, he puts you in the right position to make plays and makes your life a whole lot easier on the field. Last year I got the chance to play in Wad Grizz. It's unbelievable. The stadium's awesome, being right there with the crowds right on top of you. There's nothing better.
We just knew we had a huge target on our back, but we've been preparing since January, and we were excited. We were excited to play them again.
I personally was really nervous. It was my first time playing quarterback on the varsity level. I had a lot of teammates reassure me come game time during warm-ups that we were good to go, ready to fly around and make plays.
Hey, return ready!
We all do it for each other. We're not out here to do it for ourselves and look cool. We're here for a family team. And we come out here and grind in the heat and the cold, and that's for our brothers. We're a team.
We preached all week that they were a solid team. They are a great team. Their coaching staff, their players, they were all locked in, ready to go. Their coaching staff had a great game plan for us. We knew it was going to be a grind up till the last play. We practice all week. We call them Sparta plays. In that final huddle, right before we break, Mott's kind of grinned at us, our defensive coordinator. He's like, this is right where we want to be. When I first released that ball, I was like, oh shit. Kind of floated up there, but felt like maybe 10 seconds. He gave me a flex and a smile, and I was like, God, I love you, baby Gronk. I was on the far side of the field. I was kind of coming on the back side of Claunch there. Turned my head when he threw it, and I saw JJ was there, and he was going to make a play on that ball. You know, his work ethic is unbelievable. He works hard day in, day out, in the weight room, on the field. So I saw that ball go up in the air and JJ in the area, and I knew he was going to be able to make a play on it.
There's more action on the way when MTN Sports Extra continues after this.
And that's all for this week's Friday Night Sports Extra. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in and watched. Have a great evening.